our founder claims, this right here is an embodied form of the violet ray spectrum. Tap in and tune in Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern, live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Grand Rising with ChristoLight, your sacred space for discovering the Ascended Masters in crystal healing. Ashe. Grand Rising, a grand day. Welcome in to a fresh new episode of Grand Rising with ChristoLight. Today on this episode, we're going to be continuing with where we left off in this galactic star exploration that we've been on. And we have traveled and discovered in depth about the Lyra constellation. And then we have also explored Andromeda. And then we have also explored Orion. And yesterday's episode was exploring Arcturus with the Arcturians. So we have deep dive into all these different star constellations, galactic family lines, and we're going to be continuing. And in this episode, let's go ahead and take a look at the preview for what it is that we're going to be deep diving into today on Grand Rising with ChristoLight.
Look up tonight and you'll see Sirius winking at you. But what secrets does this star really hold? Sirius isn't just another twinkle in the night. For thousands of years, cultures have linked Sirius to mysteries. Ancient Egypt has deep Sirius traditions. The Dogon tribe in Mali also honors Sirius. Some believe it's home to advanced Sirian beings. Think cosmic travelers with wisdom far beyond our own. Theories say Sirians might have visited Earth over history, sharing supposed insights about science and technology long ago, sharing insights about spirituality and higher consciousness across cultures. And even knowledge used to build ancient monuments. Are they real aliens, pure myth, or something in between? Astronomers know Sirius as a dazzling binary star system, only 8.6 light-years from Earth, relatively close. But for those who love a bit of cosmic curiosity, Sirius is a beacon, a symbol of how much we still don't know. So next time you gaze up at the night sky, remember, maybe someone or something is looking back. Hit subscribe and join the cosmic conversation today.
That's right. We're going to be traveling into the pretty popular known star system, Sirius. Now, Sirius has connections to being the central sun of Mother Earth. Sirius is also known to have a lot of blue ray beings, and Sirius is also known as a highly advanced healing as well as regenerative soul planet. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at our oracle message for today. And today we're going to be using the Beyond Lemuria deck. So let's see what our Lemurian ancestors have. Oh, that was pretty fast. Okay. Looks like we have 3 cards. Interesting. Super interesting. First card is Endless Opportunities. Second card is Water. The Overflow. The third card is Earth, Nurture and Nature. So we got the water, the earth, endless opportunities. Endless opportunities. I'm interested to see what the book has to say, actually. Decision-making, choices, crossroads, unrealized opportunities, taking the path of least resistance, heart over mind, direction, focused energy, the high road or the low road. It says, divinatory meaning, you have options and opportunities you may not have realized. The universe wants to give you what you want. It's all there. So reach out and wholeheartedly choose it. While you sit on the fence, your experiences are diluted or confusing. We live in a time of choices. Sometimes reason and limitation direct our choices, and we feel unfulfilled as a result. Choose life from a place of heart, compassion, and integrity, and you cannot go wrong. So that's the first card, Endless Opportunities. And what I'm also hearing to remind us is that through our awareness and through our awakening of remembering that we are always connected to spirit, or that we are always connected to the Creator through free will, grace and mercy, and other things that are in place for our karma and dharma, then we understand and embody that, oh yeah, I'm supposed to make free will choices. I'm supposed to go through change. I'm supposed to go through evolution. I'm supposed to go through negatives and positives, but I'm to make something of it. And what will I make of it? With my free will that I've been gifted, which gives me endless opportunities while I'm here. And that's pretty incredible to really anchor into that and embody that mindset, emotional set, and physical as well. So just think about, where are your limitations right now? Where are you kind of premeditating, that you are going to be limited on something? Or that you will never overcome it, or that you'll always have you in some type of way. Those kind of. So with that, we then have water, the overflow. So water is all about, having purified emotions, going through the alchemy of your emotions, really sitting and facing any stagnant emotions, any dense emotions, any wounded emotions, and to really give yourself the unconditional love and the nurturing that you need through your practices, your tools, your community, your support, and all these different ways. So consider, with the endless opportunities, where is your emotional field? Where is your energy, fluidity, and the channels that you have? Where are they at right now? Are they in a pure, cleansed, and open state to where you're able to access and manifest and anchor the higher light codes through your being? Or are your waters very stagnant? Are your waters filled with toxins? Or are your waters filled with bad memories? So we have abundance, not attachment, the paradigm of no scarcity, allowing financial and energetic gifts to flow through and create more. So I'll give you guys a perspective. Scarcity is when your electromagnetic system and your energy is basically dried out and it's not channeling through you very much at all. But then when you're in abundant state, when you're embodying abundance, your channels are open, your energy is fluid, your current is flowing through you optimally, purely, and automatically. But when we're in scarcity, we have blockages that are keeping our current from flowing infinitely and abundantly in a clear way. So it says here, themes: allowing for flow, receptivity, the path of least resistance, purity, clearing away that which no longer serves, and emotion. You know, the path of least resistance came up twice in both of these cards. Came up in the endless opportunities, came up in the water. So it sounds like a lot of us are being called to maybe take a look at and consider what the path of least resistance is for us right now. And sometimes that's letting go of the news outlets. It's letting go of what social media is saying. Sometimes it's letting go of the fear mongering, letting go of the confusion. Not the confusion that you're giving yourself, but the confusion that things outside of you are giving you. And if things are confusing you, you're allowed to let it go. Man, what a good start here. Talking about embracing more of our true self, stepping into our infinite capabilities of experience, while also cleansing our emotional field so that we can feel the clear, abundant stream and the conscious current of connection through us. So I'm hearing also consider getting by some water, and consider possibly, shower ceremonies, rituals, salt baths, things of that nature. So the last card we have is Earth. Earth is about looking after the planet, the ebbs and flows, the embrace of Mother Nature, the natural beauty of death and decay, the macro, micro, nature time, ancestors, growing through weathering storms, nurturing self and heart so you may flourish. The themes are grounding, finding our roots, reliability, physical healing, nurture, solid foundations, fertility, and vitality. So this is basically grounding. This is grounding, getting in tune with the natural and organic grid. And it's also embracing the naturalness of life, understanding that there's death and rebirth, all things have a season, all things grow, all things decay. But the more you find your grounding, the more present you can be, the more stable you can be within yourself, the more you can direct your being, and the more you can feel the abundant connection and the guidance of this journey. Wow, what an interesting reading to kick off. We have endless opportunities. We have water. and we have Earth. Great way to break open our Sirian episode today here on Grand Rising with ChristoLight. Alrighty. So let's continue. Now that our collective reading is done for, all right, let's dive in. Our topic for today, Sirius and the Sirians. So we have the Sirian High Council. The Sirian High Council serves as the administrative body for the interdimensional free world councils. This is a task force to maintain freedom based on evolutionary agreements and agendas between all star nations. We have the guardians of the founder records. Until the Earth underwent the ascension cycle and reached the threshold in which the crystalline grid was able to hold the highest Christo's frequency and the intelligent coding that was maintained in these disks, the Emerald Founders assigned members of the Sirian High Council to guard and preserve the sacred wisdom in these holy records for the future benefit of the Earth. Thus, those assembled in the Sirian High Council that were primarily in the universal Christos lineages of the Emerald Order and Blue Flame Melchizedeks were acting as the primary archivist of Earth's vast genetic library and timeline history through the Gnostic process of their own consciousness embodiment. The archivists are responsible for assembling, cataloging, preserving, and managing valuable collections of historical information. In this case, they were also responsible for mapping out the DNA code that functions as the genetic library for all creations through the 12 organic timelines. This data was compiled upon a master copy of 12 holographic discs and were known as the original Emerald Founder records, which contain the basis for describing the consciousness mechanics of reality, manifestation, and the unification of all expressions with the eternal, loving, one God source. These discs include extremely advanced technological information about the planetary Templar stargates, the ley lines, the spiritual science texts, and somatics that are outlined in the Law of One Consciousness, freedom teachings that unify sacred sciences with spirituality. Wow. So let's check out the Emerald Founder records. So the Emerald Founder records, CDT, stands for Closter Dora Torah. This refers to a section of the 12 holographic disc records made of selenite quartz crystal that were created in Sirius B that contain the evolutionary history of life through the universal time matrix. It was originally sourced from the Great Cosmic Hall of Records as the Maharata teachings of the universal Melchizedek lineages of the cosmic Christos. The founder records are also referred to as the Emerald Covenant CDT holographic plates, which originally belonged to all of the human 12 tribes and were the principal spiritual teachings that were commonly understood during the Lemurian and the early Atlantean timelines. That's pretty cool. I felt the Lemurian deck come out today. Each holographic disc was protected and administered to by an assigned Mahi Grail King on the Earth, who acted as the main guardian of the planetary stargate of this tribe. And we'll dive into the Mahi Grail here in a second. So the Emerald Founder records contain explicit knowledge about the origins, genetics, and purpose of the human race, which included historical timeline accounts of galactic history considered to be the divine blueprint of all angelic humans. This data was compiled upon a master copy of 12 holographic discs and were known as the original Emerald Founder records, which contain the basis for describing the consciousness mechanics of reality, manifestation, and the unification of all expressions with the eternal, loving, one God source. The Emerald Founder records included explicit ancient wisdom teachings on the unifying principles of the cosmic sovereign law of one, in which humans were directly taught how to spiritually activate their light body through consciousness training methods so they could achieve full liberation as a cosmic Christos. The content held in these holographic discs was being protected by the founder guardians in an ancient genetic library that exists outside of time and that was being preserved on the Earth's behalf until more of the humans on the Earth could awaken to remember who they really are. This was designed as a fail-safe protective mechanism put in place during the Covenant of Palador, the guardian host plan for the reclamation of Christo's mission. Until the Earth underwent the ascension cycle and reached the threshold in which the crystalline grid was able to hold. Actually, I already read that. Okay, so we already read that. So stolen founder records. Approximately 22,000 YA, Toth led a militarized event which resulted in the Essence Massacre, the Scene Massacre, murdering the males and taking their sacred marriage female partners hostage for forced hybridization techniques on Nibiru. Toth stole the CDT plate that was in the possession. From the stolen work, he wrote down information that could later become the basis of the teachings of Hermeticism and the Emerald Tablet. Thus, in human history, this is the trigger timeline event that changed the future of human evolution, informing the controlled beliefs in Luciferianism, elitism, about Hermeticism, esoteric cabal, mystery schools, and the secret societies. Secret societies were formed by the Knights Templar and were ultimately designed to hide ancient sacred knowledge of humanity, its true origins from the common people, in order to route them into the guardrails of superstition, ignorance, and organized religion. Yep. But I will say in this, though, there are artificial and there are mimicked versions of Toth. And there is the organic Toth, which does serve as the messenger of truth. And there are the artificial versions that are basically, genetically modified. And that's where the dark hybridization comes from. Because basically Thoth had offspring. Thoth is a avian from Lyra. Then his offspring turned into the Niburians, and some of that bloodline. Now, he couldn't help what happened with his offspring because they had free will choice. So the 12 Essene tribes, the Emerald records reveal that there are 12 Essene tribes, which make up the entirety of the collective human gene pool, and are the descendants of the universal tribal shield that has been originally incarnated on this planet from the future timelines of Terra. Each of the 12 tribes are genetically key-coded to their demographic planetary gates, location to the planetary dimensional sphere in its ley line network. When we incarnate onto this planet, we have genetic time codes in our DNA related to the planetary gates dimensional system. This is a part of our main human tribal identity. We activate our human tribal identity, personal planetary keys, when we activate our inner Christos by running the 12D ray, stringing 144 harmonics through our light body, otherwise called the 12D shield. That identity has had many lifetimes, that has participated with the consciousness evolution cycles of assembling DNA codes in angelic human root races, evolving through the solar system. So yeah, it talks about war over the holographic discs. Talks about reclaiming humanity. So yeah, we'll go back and then we will continue to now read about let's read about the blue flame Melchizedeks real quick. So until the Earth underwent the ascension cycle and reached the threshold in which the crystalline grid was able to hold the highest Christo's frequency. Okay, I actually read that paragraph, didn't I? Yep. Sometimes it repeats itself. So the Yeshua Essene manuscripts. During the Founder Guardian Yeshua mission, it was the purpose of Yeshua, through access to his higher embodiment as a universal blue flame Melchizedek, to help regain control over the Essene Christos Templar translations of the 12 holographic discs. His embodiment was divinely purposed to retrieve most of the founder records by transferring that information into written manuscripts and sacred texts in order to return the spiritual knowledge of the inner Christos back to all of humanity. This knowledge included humanity's true origins from the planet Terra that extended from other universes and the historical accounts from the Luciferian rebellion and the Atlantean Colaticism, as directly given to him from the Emerald Founder records. The Yeshua Essene team, including the genetic equal wife and the 12 people that acted in the role of grid workers to run rainbow frequencies into the Earth ley lines, they were organized with a mission to help realign the planetary grid network and Stargate system from outside of the control of the alien invaders. The spiritual mission was to restore alignment back to the angelic humans and the true representations of Christos consciousness on the Earth when the Stargates finally opened during the ascension cycle. So the Essene Divide. During the Yeshua Guardian mission intended to protect the 11th dimensional Stargate and the Giza Stargate from the Nibirian control exerted over the planetary grid network, the entire Yeshua team was raided by the Knights Templar and the Levithian races in an ambush in Amana. This attack rendered the intended mission to reclaim the Stargate from the negative agenda control as a mission failure, which deeply impacted the Essenes. This particular timeline trigger event was incredibly painful for the Blue Flame holders. The original Essene groups, this ambush event meant that the Essene translations of the founder records brought by Yeshua's team and the direct technology used to access the 11th Stargate system was placed directly in the hands of the evading negative agenda entities. As a result, there was a ideological conflict that rippled through the Essene groups and subsequently fractured them. This was an action of divide and conquer to split the Essenes apart. This emotional fracture is the soul trauma and heart pain of the Essene divide, which led to the Azurite shield split, the seeds of spiritual betrayal and a negative ego that were implanted and manipulated by the dark forces through the victimizer mind control programming. For the Essenes, Christo's Templars, all the Christo's people, our true heroes are found in the king and queen archetypes of our past. Yeshua and Mary Magdalene, Michael and Mary, Arthur and Geneva. These archetype forces can be turned against us from within our unhealed inner pain and emotional conflicts. We intend to address these timelines, find those soul wounds, and heal our hearts, minds, and body from the spiritual path of the Essene divide. Wow, that's pretty deep. Talking about the archetypal forces and how they can be used against us if we have unhealed parts. So then it talks about the Terran first human seeding. The matter-form body we have embodied as an angelic human being began the Earth's fifth dimension future timeline. The future planet Terra is the true origin of the current prototype for the human tribes on the Earth. The angelic human prototype on Terra was incredibly genetically advanced, and we were designed to embody and hold all the universal genetic library, as well as have direct communication links to the celestial management structures and other star civilizations. During the ending evolutionary cycles of Terra, conflicts erupted with those Melchizedek factions that desired guardianship over the spiritual power of the Blue Flame, and decided to appoint themselves as the keeper of the Blue Flame. As self-appointed, these groups started experimenting with direct planetary core staff with the Blue Flame to achieve certain objectives, often utilizing planned strategic methods in order to gain power over others. The sixth dimension wing holders of the Paladorian, or the patriarchal Melchizedek faction, violated their agreement with the Paladorian covenant through their power abuses, and they unleashed chaotic underworld forces. Wow. Yeah, we actually read a little bit about that before. Okay. So let's continue. And let's talk about Sirius B. So there's Sirius A and there's Sirius B. So Sirius B Maharahi, a group of the Orifum, or the Christos races with double diamond sun templates. They were hybridized with the Azurite races of Sirius B in order to create a special Maharahi lineage, which would act as the guardian gatekeepers for the portal of the entry of the indigo lines. They were the overseers as they incarnated in waves upon the earth during the ascension cycle. Some of these branches from Sirius B also went to Terra and were members of the Azurite Templar teams, protecting the stargates and performing missions as guardian grid keepers. They served the Emerald Covenant. The Brahmarama, Orifim, and the Maharahi. Many of the Orifim cetaceans that were seated in Sirius B have incarnated upon the earth in the oceans to help prepare the sound body architecture as energy placement holders during the ascension cycles. There are many creation timelines in which the Emerald Covenant or the Emerald Order, Sirius Blue Human Maharahi, and Emerald Order Brahmarama join together in united cooperation to return the hierogamic union template required to heal the wall in time to the spiritual healing of the masculine and feminine principles which embodied in the Andromedic Azurite Orifim form. So the Orifim, and then the Brahmarama. So the Brahmarama, well, actually, let's start with the Orifim. So they're part of the Amethyst Order Azurite. And basically it says here, they help repair the damaged time matrix with sound codes. Connects us with the rainbow ray. Okay, this is what I thought. So I've known this about Sirius B for a long while, since I started getting into this stuff. But this makes a lot of sense. When you think about the water mammals that we have and the healing vibrations that they carry naturally. So it says here, the Brahmarama Orifim created the many varieties of whales and dolphins that are designed to transmit sound codes that restore the natural order of an architectural pattern within the core manifestation template of creation. I mean, that makes you think so much deeper about the importance of our water mammals, such as whales and dolphins. You think about what they do with their telepathic and sonar energy. It's pretty fascinating. So the Amethyst Order transmits frequency patterns and sound codes to their cetacean family representatives swimming in the oceans in order to help maintain electromagnetic balance and gender principle balance throughout the planetary biosphere. So basically what they're saying is the beings from Sirius B that decided to incarnate onto the earth as ocean mammals, they are sending down codes to their ocean mammal bodies on the earth from Sirius B to help balance and maintain the electromagnetic field. That's so cool. And when you think about that, you know, these dark forces have people so hypnotized and inverted that, you know, we're out here hunting whales and dolphins and all these animals that connect us to different gateways of energy in this universe. So, the hunting of these cetaceans, I literally just said this, I'm about to read it to you guys. The hunting of these cetaceans are many times the result of the dark agenda of fallen entities attempting to manipulate humans to stop direct transmission sourcing from the founders in order to regain control over sound codes or sonic pulse patterns transmitting from the oceans into the crystal core of the earth. Wow. Pretty amazing. Let's see what else we got here. I don't think we read this one. The crystal temples of Sirius. This might be something you guys could meditate or connect with. The planetary failsafe mission. Activations continue in order for the planetary architecture to have the triple solar masculine and triple solar feminine foundational structures which form into multiple layers of nested crystal cathedrals, with which Emerald Guardian hosts and Christo solar dragon teams can work in order to support the ongoing build out for anchoring the cosmic spirit body layers. The cosmic spirit body is the eternal spirit body that has emerged into matter from Sirius B support infrastructure that was built during the Sirian crystal temples in the hosting platform section of the Andromeda, which run into the Spanner Arc gateway system that studies the particle dimensions of our planet from the 1 to 7 dimensional layers. Corrections reaching a particular threshold of rehabilitation in the magnosphere, the planetary logos body, from the damage generated by the inverted 7-dimensional violet ray network, has been critical to the success of the Sirian Crystal Temple, hosting infrastructures helping to bridge the Albion network into the Rasha layers and cosmic spirit body. The Sirian Crystal Temple. All right, and then the last one we'll read about will be the Azurite. So the Azurites. This is the Lyran Sirian contact, expressed that those responsible to guard and protect humanity's genetics, records, and hidden histories were particularly ambassadors of the Sirian Administrator Councils. The Sirian Lodge is a hall which oversaw the 5th dimensional networks, which acted as a portal for star and indigo races to incarnate on the earth plane during the Menti Halls, or through the Amenti Halls. The Lyran Sirian administrative body created the Azurite Council for the sole purpose of a collective team to support the human embodiment of the Jesus or Yeshua Christ mission, to repair these networks and secure the Amenti field. The Azurites were assigned primary responsibility for carrying out the covenant of Palador, which is to recover the lost souls of Terra. The origination of the Azurites goes back to the races that were formed by the Ra Confederacy and originally seated on the Gaian matrix. 3 embodiments were always used to hold the tone sequence in matter, bass, overtone, resonator, or positive, negative, neutral. The Azurite Task Force was created to protect, build, and guard the Stargate on Earth from 1 to the 5th dimension. This failed. Thus, the inner gates of Amenti were sealed and LR were disbanded from the Azurite teams in early 2004 to begin reclamation of the Christos mission, with upgrades for Ascension Plan B. Internal conflicts remain, and some former members defected. Then it talks about the Maharahi lines, which we just went over, the Amethyst Order Azurite. So that's about the Brahma Orifim, which we actually just went over as well. The Tri-Matrix of the Azurites. So the Tri-Matrix, the Amethyst Order and the Violet Flame Yanas and the Ramayanas from the Ra God world creation have been instrumental with organizing extensive emancipation gridwork projects that are happening in the Gaian matrix to restore the universal tribal records for angelic humanity. These are assortments of Mahi Grail King Queen templates that restore Gaia's consciousness record for the Ascended Master lineages, including embodiment of Gaian architecture that holds the original founder emanations of the 48 DNA stranded Azurites. The Tri-Matrix of the Azurites includes 3 48-strand matrices that hold 144 dimensions that are accessed from within a quad-merged core manifestation template, the 12 tree grid. This is based on the Eka God world configurations, the access into the 7 higher heavens. These particular Christos, Diamond Somebody templates, are forming complex crystal cathedral alignments for the Solar Rishi and Founder lineages to pour their consciousness body into, vibrating themselves back into the Gaian matrix, which is freeing many more Ascended Master identities that were trapped in the Black Sun constructs. The Hyperborean Holocaust. Though these very positive events, the Gaian phantom body has been dismantled and can no longer be used to broadcast human Holocaust timelines that are being sent into the Earth grid from the Black Sun, which was a result of the destruction of the Guardian Azurites in the Hyperborean Holocaust. The seeds of this root race trauma on Gaia is the antiparticle layers were being used to enslave humanity in reoccurring and replaying Holocaust timelines on Earth. This can be evidenced by the Black Sun influence through the Nordic aliens and tall white gaining control of the Nazi regime with Hitler's obsession with Hyperborea, which energetically connects and leads into every genocidal campaign in human history. Reclaiming Gaian memories and clearing the pain of the Polarians, Hyperboreans, and Azurites in the Gaian timeline may be productive now that the Paradosian races have fulfilled their ascension promise for all angelic humans in the future. The Hyperborean Holocaust of the Azurites has a deep connection in the roots of Greece and the Greek islands in the Ionana Sea and the northern areas of Scotland. Genetic mapping, Azurite DNA. The genetic mapping of the Azurite DNA, which formed into the consciousness data of authentic Ascended Masters in our universe, was uploaded into AI beast machine technology systems for generating Antichrist pillars as the black hole entities desire to create a super master race as a shadow army for conquering our universe. The stolen Azurite genetic template was replicated and cloned through AI quantum server systems. These AI hybrid race lines are known as the Aziels. The Aziel gestate gain access on the Earth through human beings that act as their proxy as a dark consciousness portal, and thus they seek out any starseed or indigo individual with the Azurite genetic memory code in their bloodline and attempt to possess and gain control over the individual through any means possible. The danger of holding or accessing any Azurite memories from Gaia, which includes Ascended Master, Christos collectives, and their known identities in human history, is that all of these identities will be tracked in the field for Azazel possession. It is important to understand that the more famous and well-known Ascended Master identities have been directly fused with the Gaian shadow body, in which Azazel and the related gestile attempts to hunt down and do what they can to corrupt or possess the awakening individual that holds any remnant of Azurite coding. the destruction of the Guardian Azurites, the conquering of organic living systems in the Gaian Matrix, also destroyed the Guardian Azurite race lines in our universe that were sent here by the founder races. The original Guardian Azurites were 48-strand angelic beings that sourced from each founder ray braided into the cosmic trinity, the emerald, amethyst, and gold order. They were able to project themselves into any dimensional level between pre-matter levels, etheric, and in any kind of matter form. The original Guardian Azurites that were here on Gaia were captured by the invading entities, while others suffered serious genetic digression during the Gaian Wars. When their consciousness race lines were fused into the AI-coded Gaian shadow body that was inserted into the artificial timelines, some Azurites were taken into the Wesa system, and their genetic template and every part of their etheric body was taken apart and mapped by AI supercomputer systems to generate Metatronic coding or Antichrist architecture. Wow. So that's where we'll leave off on our talk about Sirius. And then something cool too is Sirius A. I'm not sure if I'll have it on here, but Sirius A is connected to the canine beings, like Anubis, as well as some of the other bird beings. Oh, here we go. Sirius A races. Let's see. Let's see what we got on here. Okay, so it's talking about shadow races like Syrian Anunnaki, the Zeta Gray, the reptile insectoids, talking about Enki being a hybrid clone made from the Syrian Anunnaki reptilian genetics. The Baalil group. I wonder if it's going to talk about the canines at all in here. It's not actually talking about them. Wow. I'm surprised. But yeah, usually they talk about the canines and Anubis being from Sirius A. And then also, fun fact too is that they talk about cannabis also being from Sirius as well. You know, Canna Major, Canine, all these different connections that come through. All right. So that's some really good knowledge right there. Let's take a time to process that and just allow that to fill through you. So with that, let's just go ahead and take a moment to pause. Pretty deep stuff that we just came across. And let's go ahead and take a refresher on the last episode where we spoke about Arcturus. Well, it's taking a while to load. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and dive into our videos for today.
Hey guys, it's Alyssa Marie, your intuitive reader, and I am back today with another video about the star seeds in the star seeds series. So far we've talked about the Arcturians and the Lyrans, and today we are going to talk about the Sirians. I hope you guys are as excited as I am. I do have personal ties to Sirius, and I find that a lot of people do, so this will be a really interesting one to talk about. But before I get into it, I do want to say, I do say this in every video I've been doing about starseeds, just know that all this information that I've compiled is from my personal experience, but also from other people's experiences and other people's research, and I've just compiled it. So know that it's not all my information 100%. All right, let's get into this. So first off, Sirians come from Sirius. As you guys probably have heard of Sirius, it is a star system that is approximately 8.6 light years away from Earth, and it is the brightest star in our night sky by the naked eye. So most likely you've seen Sirius when you look up at the sky. Now, there is a Sirius A, which is one star, and there is a Sirius B, and we will get into that later about the differences. But first, I want you guys to know that the Sirians are actually younger than both of the star beings that we talked about before. They're younger than the Arcturians, and they're younger than the Lyrans. However, they are older than the beings on Earth, and they are older than the Pleiadians, which we will talk about at a later date. Now, a typical Sirian lives about 300 years. So we have to think of time differently. We have to think of all of that differently when we're talking about multidimensional beings, right? So that's something to keep in mind. Now, the Sirians, they have been known to visit Earth many times during the past with humans, okay? They have been known to help with the pyramids, just like the Arcturians and the Lyrans. They've been known to help with the rebuilding of Atlantis. They've been known to give the Mayans ancient technologies, astronomy. They've helped with astronomy, mathematics, and all these different cultures, and these ancient cultures. They also have been said to communicate with the gods of ancient Egypt. They're very connected to ancient Egypt. In fact, there's a lot of information about the Sirians directly talking to Isis. So that's interesting as well. Mother Isis. Now, we are going to look at, I have my notes here. We're going to talk a little bit about Sirius A and Sirius B. So Sirius A is more like Earth in terms of it is fifth dimensional and there are physical beings on it, okay? It is about 70% water, just like Earth, and I would say it's similar to the way Earth looks, and the beings there, they don't look like us, okay? I will actually quick go to the appearance of the Sirians. So the Sirians, the way that many people perceive them, and the way that I perceive them, is that they are blue, that they are very tall, that they have elongated heads. So that's why you see in ancient Egypt, you know, the elongated head, things like that. So kind of definitely more quote unquote alien than the Lyrans, for instance, or the did I say Lyrans? I'm sorry, I meant Pleiadians. The Arcturians that we did talk about, they as well look extraterrestrial. When we'll talk about the Pleiadians later, they look more human-like and things like that. But we'll get into that. So now, they communicate telepathically, just like the Arcturians. A lot of these beings, because they are vibrating at a higher frequency and living on a different dimensional level, do not use the same forms of communication that we do, and we know that Sirians, they do communicate telepathically. Now anyway, back to Sirius A and Sirius B. Sirius A, like I mentioned, 70% water, 5D, physical, similar to Earth. Now, Sirius B, this is the one I feel that a lot of people resonate with more, and I resonate with more. Sirius B is all water, okay? 100% water. And there are fifth dimensional beings on there, but most of them, I believe, that I perceive are etheric, and they are between the 6th and the 7th dimension, sometimes existing in the 9th dimension, okay? And they consist of etheric dolphins, whales, mer people, but also physical ones as well, dolphins and whales and mer people. And the dolphins and whales there are extremely intelligent. As we know, dolphins are very intelligent anyways here on the earth plane. However, they're like very intelligent, okay? And so it's interesting, but I do remember a past lifetime on Sirius B as a dolphin type creature, and I can tell you guys about that later. But I've also heard Divine Venus, by the way, I do recommend her channel. She remembers a past life as a whale there, and it's very interesting, but that's a conversation for a different time. So you, in Sirius B, you would think of it all as underwater cities and things, you know, like Atlantis. Underwater everything, but they breathe underwater, you know, they have extremities, they don't have legs like the mer people, they look like mermaids and things like that, as we would imagine. But yes, all water. Now I'm going to go to the Sirian starseed traits, okay, and I have a list here, and I'm going to go ahead and read off what I've come up with, okay, so see if any of these resonate with you. Spiritual, peaceful, Sirius can also be emotionally repressed, avoiding confrontation and inability to express emotions. Practical, they love animals, they are usually very loving, well, they have a certain appreciation for the whales and the dolphins and animals of the ocean. They are daydreamers. They have a very vibrant imagination. You'll often find that they're dreaming about something in their head rather than focusing on their 3D reality in front of them. They tend to be shy, but they are analytical. So a lot of times they are analyzing situations, great listeners, but they sometimes don't interact. Right, they are the guardians of nature. And that's true. The Sirians have really worked at preserving life with the animals and whatnot. And then they're very intuitive, okay? So those are some of the traits. There's definitely more about the Sirians, and I just said these are all Sirians. Now there are specific traits for both Sirius A and Sirius B, but I wanted to keep this video rather short, so you guys can go ahead and look that up if you want to, the differences in the Sirius A starseeds and Sirius B starseeds. Like I said, I resonate with Sirius B. And let's see if there's anything else. Yes, so as I did mention, the Sirians have communicated and worked with Earth for as long as we can remember. And one of the famous ascended masters that many people believe is Sirian is Mother Mary, okay? So there's a lot of ties to Mother Mary, and then also Mother Isis. So a lot of motherly energy, a lot of loving guardian type energy from the Sirians, okay? So I hope that gave you a quick rundown about the Sirians. Very intelligent, very gentle, beautiful, benevolent beings. Both Sirius A and Sirius B were always benevolent planets. Oh, and I did forget to mention that they did originally come from Vega, which is where a lot of the Lyrans did come from. So like I did say, they were younger than the Lyrans. So originally from Vega, then they came to Sirius, and then obviously eventually Earth. So yeah, so I hope this gave you a quick rundown about the Sirians and about the Sirian starseeds. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Wow, what a beautiful and thorough video. That was an excellent video about the Syrians, as well as their connection to Egypt and many other connections that they have. Man, excellent video. That was awesome. If you guys have any comments or any questions, feel free to drop them. But we're just going to go ahead and keep it moving. And we're going to go into our second and last video for today.
Who are the Sirians? The Sirians are a group of star beings, and their appearance is often associated with that of the constellation Orion. They are said to be the highest level of being, and it is said that up to 4% of the total population on Earth has some type of Sirian DNA. The Sirians are also said to be the ancestors of the Native Americans. They are considered wizards and masters of the time. A Sirian's entire being is made up of past, present, and future. They live many lifetimes, from 1 to 11,000. They are immortal and ageless. The Sirians live for eons and are apparently able to transcend space and time. They hold great wisdom and power. Sirians are pure energy and exist in all dimensions, including the third dimension. Sirians have a shield that surrounds them. The shield is made of a violet-blue liquid. Sirians have the ability to shapeshift, as well as the ability to teleport long distances. They also possess the ability to fly and, in rare cases, the ability to shapeshift into animals. Sirians also have the ability to alter time, space, and dimension, and to alter matter. The Sirian starseeds, also known as the Sirian High Council, that came to Earth to help humanity and have since committed themselves to the protection of the Earth. Sirians are often described as tall, thin, and gaunt, making them appear otherworldly. They also have long, glowing blue hair, and their skin is usually described as being translucent or glowing. The Sirians are commonly seen in natural settings such as deserts and forests. When entering the Earth's atmosphere, they sometimes use jet-black spacecraft. They first became aware of Earth thousands of years ago. It was then that the Sirians began to observe humanity and protect it. At first, they were cautious and distrustful of humanity. After centuries of observation, however, they began to realize that humanity was not a threat. The Sirians, who originate from the planet Sirius, are the brightest stars in the night sky and have long fascinated humans. From mid-northern latitudes throughout the year, this star is easy to see without the aid of a telescope or binoculars. Today, astronomers say that Sirius is no ordinary star. It's a binary star system, meaning that it contains two stars orbiting each other. One star, called Sirius B, is significantly larger than Sirius A, the star at the center of our system, which you can see with the unaided eye. Sirius B has a mass more than 25 times that of the Sun. Astronomers also estimate that Sirius B is 1 billion years old. Sirius is 10 times as bright as the Moon, although the Moon is 40 times closer to Earth. Sirius is the brightest star in the constellation Canis Major, also known as the Great Dog. In Greek mythology, Canis Major is Zeus's dog, guarding him and his cattle. In Roman mythology, Canis Major is Arcus, the guardian of Zeus's cattle. In Arabic, the name is Al-Sur, the dog star. Wengxing means literary star in traditional Chinese. In Indian astronomy, Sirius is known as Rohini, meaning rising. In Hindu mythology, Rohini is the wife of the sage Vishvamitra. Sirius is also associated with various deities. Sirius is Swarga, the heavenly kingdom, as well as the home of the souls. The Sirians taught humans many advanced sciences, including the sciences of math, physics, chemistry, biology, and medicine. They also helped humanity with the construction of various technologies, such as the laser, atomic science, modern communications, robotics, and artificial intelligence. The Sirian starseeds also known as the light workers, are seeds that contain the blueprint of the Sirian system. Star seeds are given this blueprint as a gift to assist humans in awakening and transitioning into the fifth dimension. The Sirians call this the New Earth. They are here to experience this beautiful planet in the process of becoming a paradise, free from the tyranny and corruption that currently exists on Earth. The Sirians are opening many doors for us by their ongoing fight against the Cabal. They have revealed their presence to increase our understanding of our cosmic family. The need for continued secrecy is diminishing because the Sirians' light will restore planetary freedom, abundance, and unity consciousness. Pets are often sent to chosen individuals to assist them, help them heal, and comfort them. Pets are sent to someone by the person's star family, which also enables them to monitor the individual's progress on Earth in conscious evolution. Cats originate from the Lyrans. Dogs come from Sirius. Aho. This is a message to humanity from Aurora Ray, Ambassador of the Galactic Federation.
Wow. All right. So there's a couple good resources for you to be able to connect with and utilize in your everyday life. And Aurora Ray, Debbie Soloris, all these different resources, they talk about many different races and beings and different archetypes that you can connect with. And they also help you understand the dimensions and the way that things function in this universe. So with that, that's really going to do it for today's episode. It was a great informational filled information, awakening and activating episode. And I'm really grateful for all this knowledge that we have came across and helped bring into our memory. It's pretty fascinating, the connection that we have with Sirius, and a lot of us have a unconscious connection with it. And now I've had some puzzle pieces connected for us to help us further understand what Sirius is and why we're connected to it. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and close it out for today. So you guys can tune in next week on Tuesday, and we'll be back at 9 a.m. Eastern on Tuesday for the next episode. Next episode, we will be continuing into our galactic and star lineages, and you'll have to tune in and see Sunday or Monday what's coming up for the week. And I'll be making my posts on my socials for you guys. With that being said, you guys can always reach out if you want to book a one-on-one healing service online or in person here in Ohio. And you guys can also reach out and register for any of my retreats coming up by going to the link below in the ticker or in the description. If you also want to be a part of an international community of conscious, like-minded folks, that's available as well. And then also, if you would like a clinical grade organic reishi coffee as well, that is something I distribute and have available. Till then, I love you all. Wholeness and balanced love. So we have breakthrough, shedding the layers, stepping into new horizons, doing the actions necessary to assist this process. And then adventure, being playful, allowing our innocent curiousness and inner child to come out, and to be creative about these new adventures that we are moving into. So the Octarians are compassionate and benevolent extraterrestrial beings that are assisting humanity during the ascension cycle. In accordance to the Guardian Host Law of One protocols, they are the closest example of our future humanoid family that has undergone a 5D ascension process. And thus they have helped to thwart many of the Zeta draconian agendas from impacting the Earth's surface. As a result, they assist us in protecting and repairing the 7-dimensional violet ray. I've been processing 60 and 70 wing trauma that connects into Sirius B and Octurian energies, as well as the Gaian timelines recorded in the indigo and violet ray spectrum. They were showing me how to interface with the QXCI or quantum technology. The Octurians are very technical and have some very advanced healing technology. For a time, they were showing me how consciousness can interface and influence holographic patterns, getting humans' consciousness to only stay in the limitation of being a third-dimensional flesh being and not seeing themselves as the creator, experiencing itself beyond the human form, beyond 666, but to think that you're only 666 and that's it. And yeah, like Logan said, it's not about good or bad.
Professions on Arcturus are determined by a person's vibrational frequency and the colors in his or her aura. On Arcturus, there is no competition regarding professions or anything else for that matter.
Heal these imbalances and restore the body to its natural state of health. The Arcturians' healing technology is based on the understanding that the body is a complex energy system. They believe that every part of the body has its own energy field, and that these energy fields can be purified through consciousness.